What's up? How's everybody doing?
Everybody's doing good. Excuse me. Is that the accent you was looking for?
No.
So what happens is, good morning for joining us. We're on our
Good
live. We
afternoon.
start our live on Facebook.
Right.
And so I'm bringing you over. Pronounce your full name.
All right. So my government name is Jermaine Yaw Asiedu, but I go by Yaw Asiedu because Jermaine. I don't really think I look like a Jermaine, you know. So
No.
Nah, not at
so
all.
yeah. So I was like, the middle name makes you more interesting, so use that instead.
So what began to happen was we were on Facebook and we're telling everybody to come join us here. And he was like, you think he has an accent? And I looked at him.
I did.
And I was like, what kind of accent do you think he
I
has?
said, I don't know.
He
His
said-
name sounds African. I want an African accent.
Or I said, okay. I said, he's from Brooklyn now. He could have a Brooklyn accent.
It's like,
Right.
He said, no, that's not as sexy as an African accent. And then I go, it could be a British accent. He said, well, that'd be dope.
You know what's funny? I was born in London, right? And I grew up there for a little bit, but then I moved to Ghana and I grew up in Ghana. So, and then I moved to the States when I was about 11. So like, people are always like, wait, what accent do you have? And I'm like, I don't know. I've been Americanized since I've lived here, but sometimes people are like, oh, like there's an English accent that sneaks out. I'm like, I don't hear that. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't hear it. But yeah, so surprise.
No, not yet.
But it's
Surprise,
not a
there's-
Brooklyn accent. It's,
It's
not,
not
a
a
New York
Brooklyn accent.
No.
It's not a New York accent. It's not an African accent. It's not an English accent. So I don't know.
So thank you for joining us today.
No, thanks for having me.
And we're here to give you your flowers. You are an amazing talent, an amazing artist. So he never knows who I'm going to interview until like 20 minutes before we start the show.
That's
Right.
not true.
Okay.
What? That's not true. But I know your work from Clubhouse. 'Cause I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I know his work.
I know his work.
Clubhouse. Yeah.
Nice.
You know
So-
what? Clubhouse has been a godsend. You know, like it puts you in rooms with people that I don't know if you'd ever had a chance to speak to. So it's
You're
like being
absolutely
in the
right.
same room with like creative directors of brands that you want to work with,
Yes.
photographers like you, Masa,
Photographers
all of those.
like you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. But like all these people, I'm just like, wow, like whoever came up with this idea, kudos to them. I just hope that Mark
Yeah,
Zuckerberg doesn't
Gotta
end up
get-
buying it
And destroying it.
and destroying it.
And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
throwing them some hideous algorithm so you can only see 10% of the people you talked to before.
Yeah.
I remember when we was on Facebook years ago, I had 5,000 people. If I put something up, it went to 5,000 people. Now it goes to like 40.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they want you to pay for the promotion. That's the
Exactly.
thing. That's the
So
thing
where in
with
Brooklyn are
Instagram
you
too now.
located?
Actually, I'm in Harlem now.
You went from Brooklyn to Harlem?
Yeah, I know.
Why?
You know, I don't know actually. Harlem it's a bit more peaceful, honestly.
Then where in Brooklyn were you?
I was in Williamsburg.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's okay.
No.
Yeah,
Alright,
you know,
I get
yeah.
it. I understand.
I was in the gentrified part. So you
Oh,
know.
I
no.
got it.
So they have all the street cafes and the
Yeah.
hipsters and all that
I
stuff.
got it.
And
I
in the
mean-
summertime, everybody stands on the streets.
Yeah, but I mean, right now because of how COVID is, New York, it's kind of quiet. It's not as it used to be like during, well, of course, February, nobody's really out, but like Times Square is dead silent. Nobody really goes to Times Square, but it's dead silent.
What's crazy is nobody went to Times Square when it was popping either.
Nah,
Only tourists.
well, only tourists. Yeah. It was only for tourists. Nobody goes to Times. Like if you come to New York and like you talk, like speak to a New Yorker and like, oh yeah, let's go to Times Square. They'll look at you weird, like Times Square.
They want us to
Yeah.
go to Hollywood so they can see the Walk of Fame, the
Right.
stars. It's like,
It's like nah, no thanks. We're not
when they
doing
want
that.
to go see the Hollywood sign, it's like, no.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I'll do that when I come to LA. I'll just be like, hey, let me go check that out real quick because I see it in the movies and I'm like, yo, let me
Yeah, no,
just
once
see
you
what
do
it's
it one
about.
time,
When you live there, it's like, why would you want to go to 42nd Street? You live there.
yeah, it's different.
So
That's true.
what we
Yeah.
go through here. It's funny because Los Angeles is huge. And so what would happen, somebody would come here and they'd go, I want to do the beach. I want to go to downtown. I want to see the Hollywood sign. And let's get some dinner.
And go to the desert.
Oh, and then we have to take us to the desert. It's like, that's like,
Bro, that's 6 hours
that's 6
that
to
way.
8 hours,
That's
4 hours that way.
It's
It's like,
4 hours.
Wow.
it's huge. Like
Yeah.
we can drive for 6, 7 hours and still not leave Los Angeles area. That's how huge it is. And the difference is, it's not distance, it's time spent in traffic.
Yeah, it's different.
So that's how that goes.
But
So,
I mean, what do
go
you
ahead.
think? Like right now, what do you because of COVID? Like I know LA. I don't know if they're still shut down or open, but I heard traffic is not as bad anymore because of COVID.
Oh, it's not.
It's
It's
not
not
as
as
bad.
bad.
There's sometimes you assuming we're about 20 miles from downtown
Yeah.
LA, and it could be a 45 to an hour drive.
Yeah.
Now we get down there in 20
20
minutes.
minutes.
Okay.
So we do enjoy that. So
Okay.
we're enjoying that as the time goes. Tell us about you.
Yeah.
How did
Wow.
you get into photography? You shoot black skin beautifully.
Born in
Thank you. I
London.
Born
love
in London,
shooting my
moved to
people.
Ghana, then Williamsburg, or you moved
Yeah.
to
Well,
Brooklyn.
so I went to school in Virginia. I went to Virginia Commonwealth University. When I was there, I studied biology and chemistry. Um, as I was there during my sophomore year, I got scouted to model.
That's
Um,
my next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then, my mother was like, "You're not gonna do that. You're in school to become a doctor, so that's what you're gonna do." I was like, "Bet, we're gonna do that." So I turned that down, and during my junior year, I sat there and spoke to myself, and I was like, "This is not what you want to do." And so I had a discussion with her, and I was like, "Look, I don't want to be a doctor. I'm doing this for you." And she was like, "Okay, cool. Get your degree, finish it in 4 years, and you can do whatever you want to do." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I got my degree. The degrees, even here, I'm not using it, but I got a bio degree. And then I was out with a friend, and she's like, "Yo, you should really think about modeling." And I was like, "I don't know, man. There's nothing here in Virginia." And she's like, "Oh, I know an agent that owns an agency. I'll put you in contact with her." So she put me in touch with this agent. And the agent's like, "Oh, we like you. We'd like to sign you, yada, yada, yada." I got with them. They were more of like a mother agency in Virginia. I was with them for like 2 years. I didn't really know much about the industry, but I was going back and forth between Virginia and New York because I was just fascinated with the industry. So I would come to New York for like Fashion Week,
Mm-hmm.
go to like agency meetings here and there. The agency that I was with didn't set those up. Red flag. Um, and then they were like, "Oh, you have to pay for this and this, and like you have to pay for these acting classes, and you have to pay for you to shoot with this photographer that we have." I was just like,
But they were trying.
"Okay." Oh, they did. They got me. So they got me for a good like 2 grand when I was starting. I didn't know any better, right? So I paid that 2 grand. I tested with their photographer. Images were shit. Um, the makeup was terrible. The styling was terrible. And the
Did you know
photos,
that? Did you know that then, or you figured that out
no, I
after?
didn't know that then. I figured it afterwards, right? And the scam was the photographer that they used was the husband of the agency owner.
Wow.
So, and again, I didn't know none of this stuff. So I was like, I was going with it, I was starting, but then I would come to New York all the time and I'll meet with like agencies and stuff. And then I set up a shoot in New York with a photographer named Brian Jamie. He was the first photographer that shot me and got me like good images that could, like he really
That you
shot me
could
and got
work
me.
with.
Yes, that I could work with that. Agency started getting interested. During that time, I met a photographer and he was like, "Yo, I think you do very well in Cape Town." At this time, I didn't know anything about the Cape Town market. I didn't know anything about the South Africa market. So I was like, "You know what? I trust what you're saying. I'm gonna go with you." So I bought a ticket like a month later to Cape Town. It was like $900. I made it work. I got a ticket. I went to Cape Town with them. When I went to Cape Town, I got picked up by an agency called 20 Model Management. So I signed with them. When I signed with them, this was like back in 2015. This was October 2015. So like, "Oh, come back in January 2016 for the season. Let's see how it goes." I was like, "All right, cool." So I went to Cape Town in January 2016, first time there, and it went really well. My first 3 months there, booking GQ, Men's
You're like
Health,
a
a
real
whole bunch
model.
of stuff. Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I did so well. They were like, "Look, we want you to come back for like the second season." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I went back. I ended up spending 6 months in Cape Town.
That's what
Um,
happens. They get you there. You don't want to leave.
I love that place. And ever since 2016, I always go back at least once a year, except for this past year because of COVID.
For COVID, right?
Um, so while I was there, I bought a camera. Well, let's back to college. When I was in college, I bought a camera because of this girl that I was dating, right? She looked good, so I was like, I want to take pictures of her, right? So I got a camera to take
Whatever it
photos of
takes.
her, right? To take photos
Hmm.
of her, and I was shooting her, just shooting like basics, like the sky and landscape and cars. I just everything I saw, I just took photos of,
Yep,
and I
we
was like,
walked down
oh
that
yeah, I
path.
really, really like this stuff. And then when I was in Cape Town, like 2 years later, the agency I was with was like, look, we like your eye, we like how you take photos. Maybe we should test some of our models with you. So I was like, all right, why not? I'll do it. It was free, of course, to start. So Cape Town, you have outdoors, you have great natural light. So I started as a natural light photographer using the sun because when you wake up, that light is completely beautiful until about 8 p.m.
And completely
Um,
different than New York.
Way different. And
Nobody
so,
understands that.
no. So we would shoot on the beach a lot. So I started shooting more swimwear and portraits. And then, I don't care. And then, I'm sorry, it's just notifications. I'm like, I'm busy. And then it got to a point where the agency was like, oh, we'll actually like to pay you to test our models. And I was like, oh, pay me. So I was like, okay. So then I was like, okay, so this is actually, you're actually pretty good at this. People
Hmm.
want to pay you to take photos. So I was like, all right, cool. I mean, pay wasn't much. Test shoots don't really pay anything.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And then, so I was shooting them. We're doing stuff on the beach. I made connections with like makeup artists and stylists down there and hairstylists. And we started shooting down there. Fast forward, I came back to New York and I got booked on a modeling job because I was still modeling. I have a mother agent here and everything. So I got booked on a modeling job and it was with Lindsay Adler. And
And
I
those
knew,
photos are amazing.
thank you.
All the black and white photos you see on this, of him
Hmm.
is Lindsay.
And
So
then I
shout out to
knew,
Lindsay.
right. And I knew of her work and I was like, okay, cool. This is cool. I was like, okay, so you've been given an opportunity here. You've been booked as a model, but you know her work. So when you see her, plug yourself. So I was like, all right, cool.
Absolutely.
So we were on set shooting, and I was like, yo, I admire your work. I know your work. It's really beautiful. I'd love to like offer my services to you free of charge. Come shadow you. Come if you need help with walking your dog, if you need lights move, whatever. I'm here to do it. And she's like, all right, cool. Send me an email. So I dropped her an email when I got home after the job. And she's like, okay, so you are really serious. How's this? I have a shoot coming up. You can come shadow. I was like, all right, cool. So I went, I
What?
shadowed, I kept my mouth shut, didn't speak when I didn't need to speak, didn't comment or anything. I was just there to absorb. And then after
When's
that,
your
she offered
birthday, y'all? When's your birthday?
August 24th.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was there to observe. So I observed, it went well. She invited me to like come to another one of her shoots. So I went, it went well. And then she offered me an internship that was coming up for that following year. I
Nice.
took it. And then when I was there, absorbed from her, learned from her, lighting. Because like I said, I started outside in nature, natural light. I never really liked studio lighting because I didn't understand lighting in studio.
Right.
Like I didn't understand what this light does, what like a rim light was, what freaking what I didn't even know about using V flats to help shape the
But you want to hear
lighting and
something
everything.
funny? Being a natural light photographer, you did know those things
It
as it
just
pertained
meant
to natural light.
yeah.
Right. I just didn't know in studio like how
Right.
Yes.
to move things around.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was just there absorbing from her, learning from her, learn studio lighting from her. And then after the internship, I ended up becoming her assistant, and I still do assist her. So that's long
Nice.
story short.
No, it's a great
that's
No,
story.
it's a
that's what
great
happened.
story. You know, we always preach on Clubhouse, telling them to do exactly what you did,
When
which
we're
Right.
is
teaching people, be quiet.
tell people all the
Just
time,
learn.
don't bring your camera, be quiet and observe
Yeah.
everything that they're doing. Also to tell them to reach out to photographers and say, ask them, can you shadow them? Can you be around and just absorb with you did
And
everything.
you did everything
Everything.
textbook.
Yes,
You did
textbook.
everything
Yeah. Yeah.
textbook. So
We
that's why
always
you
tell
are
young
where you are right
photographers
now.
do. Yeah.
And it's funny because once you get into that position, you leave the ego at home.
Yes.
and you just come to learn.
Right.
And when you have that kind of student at your disposal, we tend to give more
Yes.
because we want you guys to succeed. Because Lindsay's not going to say he's my assistant and you shoot like garbage.
Yeah.
Right.
Not gonna happen.
We're not going to
Yeah.
have. No one's going to have
Right.
that.
Right.
So who taught you how to use your camera in the beginning?
I learned myself.
Oh, really?
I picked up a camera and I am a student of YouTube University. I first
Nothing
started
wrong with that.
shooting auto, and then I was playing around and went into manual, and I was just like, okay, what does this stuff do, right? So I went on YouTube and I learned every single dial on my camera. I had a Nikon D3100 at first, which was like $500 or $600, some cheap little camera. And I learned it, and I was like, okay, YouTube. I YouTubed I took YouTube as if it was a class. Every single day, I was on YouTube learning about Photoshop and then retouching and okay, what does this camera do? Okay, so when you see the sun this high up, like, what are you seeing in the sky? Like, is this, if there's no sun, okay, this gives you soft light. So I learned everything on YouTube. And then I had photographer friends that are also like, whatever I shoot with, I'm always learning from this. Whenever I was shooting, I was always learning. I was always like, okay, so what does that button do, right? So what is this? What are you doing over
I
here?
did
Like,
that when I
how's
modeled. I
that?
sit up there and
Yeah.
ask those questions too. Yep.
I'm just like, so what does that do? What is this? What is that? And they'll like give me information. I was like, okay, cool. Then I'll go to YouTube, do my research, get on Google, do my research. And that's how it goes. I'm always still learning. I'm always on YouTube, still learning. I'm always learning from different photographers. So it's a never ending cycle. You're always learning. Otherwise, you just become stuck. If you're not learning, you're just stuck. So yeah. That's how it started.
So let's talk about your eye, because you have an amazing eye.
Yes.
How did you develop that? How did you develop the love for the melanin skin?
Yes. Because you shoot black skin.
I'm kind of jealous of your shooting of melanin skin.
Thanks, man. So you know what? There was a photographer that told me, shoot what you love. And I love my people. I love people that look like me. I love our women. So I just started, the woman that I first started shooting was the girl that I was dating back in college. And she wasn't dark skinned. She was fair skinned.
Okay.
But I was shooting her. And then when I moved to New York, I had this roommate that was a model. So she became my muse. So I always practiced with her. And I always did all my trial and error stuff with her. And it just continued being that way. And I just kept shooting people that look like me. And I just bettered every single time that I would shoot people that look like me. I don't have no problem shooting people that don't look like me. I just find more joy in shooting those that look like me. Because when I first started, I saw that there weren't a lot of photographers that knew how to shoot people that look like us. So I was just like, if they can't do it, I will try and be better at that. So it would be something that like I want to specialize in. Like, oh look, we want to go to this guy because he shoots black people very, very well. So that's just basically right. So that's just basically how it happened. I just kept shooting people that look like me because I just love people that look like me, and I have no problem with nobody else. I just love us. No, I feel like you have to qualify because because people look at you weird when you just shoot black people. I'm like, but you guys don't look at the white photographers weird when their book is full of blonde models and they have one black model that they shoot. I'm just like, why is it that I always have to qualify when you don't have a problem with what they do? But anyway, that's story for another day.
Just because you like to shoot black people doesn't mean you hate white people.
What's interesting about people is saying that you like something, they all automatically think that you don't like something else.
For example, I love Beyonce.
Oh, you don't like Rihanna? Like,
there you go.
Exactly.
You go.
So it's like,
but what's funny is when you talk to those people, you have to say to them, "What did I just say?"
They don't even remember.
I just said I like Beyonce. Where was the sentence that I said I hate Rihanna? That was not even a sentence. I like this.
I think people always have this thing to do this comparing and contrasting.
Contrary, right?
And it's always like, just look at what I love, not what you think I don't like. Just pay attention to what I love. I'm telling you what I love. And this is what I love, and it's nothing else. Don't look past it. Don't look left and right. Right there, what I said is what I meant.
Thank you. Exactly.
Time to get a little bit serious now.
All right,
when I asked you to interview,
yes,
you were kind of taken aback.
Yeah.
And you were like,
why?
I'm not like those others. I'm not like them. Do you realize that you're great in your own right?
You know, I don't know. Sometimes I have this what is it called? Is that imposter syndrome? Is that what
Imposter
it's called?
syndrome, yeah.
And I'm just like, I look at my stuff. I'm like, okay, you do good work, but like then I'm looking at like, so where's the clientele to show for that good work that you're doing? I mean, I do
Mm-hmm.
smaller brand stuff. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
smaller clients that hit me up
Mm-hmm.
through Instagram or whatever, and they want to work with me. But like, where's the bigger brands to show that you do great work? So sometimes
So are
I
you
have that.
quantifying? Are you quantifying your greatness
To
due to the bigger
clients.
brands?
I wouldn't say that. I'm that's a good one.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's a good one. I wouldn't. I don't think I would say that. I think that the thing is, I'm just like. I mean, I guess I have to be patient because it's not like I've been doing this for 10, 20 years, right? It's just sometimes trying to make get myself to like relax and be like, be patient, like go through the battles, go through. You're gonna have to put in the hours. You're gonna have to like deal with the no's. There's gonna be plenty of no's. There're gonna be people that are gonna pass you up for people who are less talented than you. It's fine. Just deal with it. Your time will come. What's for you is for you. It's just I can say that, but then sometimes I'm like, come on now, like where are these clients at, right? But
Right.
I, I, I don't know. It's
What's going to happen, and I can tell you can quote me. You're here right now, and then one day somebody's going to say yes, and then
The floodgates.
something's going to change.
right.
I was where you were. I was like, man, yeah, whatever. I hear you saying, okay, I'm good, but whatever. Like, where my clients? I ain't shooting nobody. I'm still broke. I'm over here shooting for $300. Like, what's going on? And then one
I
day,
don't shoot for $300 though.
no, look, that's where I was.
Some people can't afford me, and
That's what.
that's fine.
Just
And
wait. Just
that's
wait.
fine
That's
because
what
there are
I'm
people
talking
that
Look,
about.
go ahead.
that's where I was, and then something changed, and it was like, holy shit, they paying my rates. Holy shit, this is a campaign. Holy shit, I'm doing this.
Oh my God, I'm in Target.
I mean, yeah, and I was like, what?
See,
What's going on?
that's the thing. That's why I'm like,
It's a change. It's not gonna happen. It may not happen gradually. It's maybe one of those things where it just turn on, and it was like, oh, there we go. So it was a change. Shit, my whole story was like yours. It sounds the same, but
And
prepare yourself.
somebody saw something in him and said, okay, we have to take you to the next level.
Yeah.
So who do you admire as photographers?
Yeah.
so when I was starting to learn, I looked at a lot of Peter Lindbergh stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at Patrick Demarchelier's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I also paid attention a little bit to like Stephen Meisel, but it wasn't really his stuff that I looked at. It was mostly Patrick and Peter, whose work that I really looked at. And then I worked with this one photographer in South Africa who shot me twice for GQ named Neil Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a very, very old school photographer.
Yes, he is.
Great guy. And when I met him, I was like, yo, this guy, like, this is the type of stuff I want to do. Like, he was very humble, very, very nice. And this is somebody that's worked with Naomi and all those models
Mm-hmm.
late in the 90s. So I was just like, wow. So him, Peter, Patrick were the three that I really looked at when I first started.
Okay.
I didn't really know much about a lot of Black photographers. I actually didn't even know about you until later on last year when I came across your Instagram page. But I feel like we're a small community when it comes to like a Black photographers. A lot of us don't get the big opportunities that they give to these other people when we're just as talented and we can sometimes even do it way better than they do it. But that's a story for another day.
And that's what I enjoy about Clubhouse because it introduced me to a plethora of Black photographers from here to Nigeria. It was like,
Right.
oh my God.
Yeah.
And the talent and the skill set that out there across all the genres, not just, let's say, documentary or beauty. We're in every facet that I was almost ashamed of myself for not knowing that these people existed. And it's like,
Exactly.
I was like, this is not cool. So I opened up my mind to meet people like Masan and stuff like that I would have never had access to
There's a ton of
if it wasn't for
there's a ton
Clubhouse.
On Clubhouse where I was like, you producing that work down south? Oh my
Right,
God! I thought
right.
I thought everything was like no.
And
Pleasantly fooled.
you know what's funny? I heard about Misan last year when he shot the British Vogue cover.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But getting to actually hear him speak in a room was completely different. I was like when would this have happened? Like I
Yeah.
saw, okay, cool. He shot British Vogue. That's great. A first black photographer to do it. That's wonderful. That's gonna open the doors because I was when Edward got there, I was like, I'm just hoping that they
That
bring in
he
more black
wasn't gonna be a
Yes.
talents.
puppet.
Yes.
I was like, I'm hoping that they bring in like he opens the gate. So when
He
I saw that
did.
And
Misan
he's doing it.
shot it,
He's almost doing it disrespectfully. He's like he kicked in the door, waving his 4-4. He's like, oh no, I'm gonna blow stuff up, and it makes the other Vogue brands like, okay, we need to step up our game because British Vogue was already there,
Yeah.
but now it's
and
like
it is exactly
Yeah.
it's
like
there
it's
exactly.
Vogue American Vogue is like British Vogue is
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah,
So your face will be in there, and you will be mark my word, you will be shooting for British Vogue.
thank you,
Mark my word.
thank you.
We just have to uplift each other
And
and
champion
champion each other because
Absolutely.
every time one gets in the door, it makes room for the next person.
Yeah.
Right.
So, what do you feel as being a black creative and a black artist? What do you feel is the plight of the black photographer out there, especially young ones? Because see, I'm old, so I'm speaking for the older generation, coming to you for the younger generation.
Oh, wow, Dallas with
Have
the
you noticed you got the
questions.
hardest questions of all the interviews
Yeah.
I've done so far?
Damn. Why you hitting me with these with these
There's
tough
the
ones?
accent.
Wow. Jeez. What is the plight of young photographers? I guess a lot of us don't know no, we don't know the history of um I certainly am starting to learn like history of black photographers in this industry. But some actually don't even. I feel like some of us. I'm not going to speak for all of us. A lot of us don't have the patience to put in the work.
Right.
Some of us really want everything like now, or some of them. Some like there's some that like get picked up, but they haven't really put in the work. And so there are a lot that really like they blow up a little bit, they do something for a little bit, but they haven't really like put in the long hours. They haven't put in the work that some of the older cats have put in. I just feel like some of us are not very patient at times to wait or open to learn or take criticism or whatever. So that might be it. That might
Do you
be.
think that that's the fault of the older photographers?
Mm,
You won't hurt my feelings. It's okay.
you know, I I don't think so. I just feel like some of us don't like to ask for help. And I mean, I feel like if you were to go to the older photographers and be like, hey, like I don't understand this stuff. Can you help me out? If you're offering them something, I'm sure they will more than likely help you out with it. I know you do it all the time. You have the rooms that you do on Clubhouse where people can come over there and ask you questions. And if they're willing to learn or listen, you're gonna give them great advice that they can use. But we have to be willing to like listen to constructive criticism and not feel like we're being attacked when you say something that we don't agree with. So I don't think it's you guys' fault. I feel like we all bear the blame for it. It's
Okay,
kind of
it's
like
both of us. Okay.
it's both of us. Yeah.
It's our community. It's
our
our
community.
fault.
Okay, I can get with that. What would be your dream client and what would be your dream shoot?
Since
Dream
I
model.
And dream model, yeah.
wow, dream model. I hope they're not on here. Are they on here? Um, I love. So I will start with my favorite model. Favorite current model is Joan Smalls,
I can see
and
why.
I I would love to do a Estee Lauder campaign with her.
Oh, so Estee
Yeah,
Lauder with Joan.
Joan
Okay.
Smalls. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So definitely, Estee Lauder is on the top of my list of like clients because beauty. Um,
Right.
there's Estee Lauder. There's Bare Minerals. There is Revlon. There's Chanel Beauty. So just a few, but Estee
Yeah,
Lauder is the top of the
that's your
list.
Christmas list.
Yeah,
Because
Estee Lauder is on the top.
once you put it in the universe, that's how it begins to happen.
Uh,
So
yeah,
I'm glad
yeah,
that you're talking about these things. So
yeah.
You got your degree in biology. What does mom think about what you're doing now?
Um, Mom was so you know what I would say. I actually lost my mom December of 2020.
Oh my God, I'm
I'm so
so
And no,
sorry.
sorry.
it's okay. It's all good. It was like a long battle she had with, so she had a stroke in 2019, I believe. No, 2018. When was the last time I was in South Africa? I think it was 2018.
My
So
condolences.
what happened? Thank you. So what happened was I landed in Cape Town. So we were always texting and talking, right? So before my flight, she would message me, and I didn't hear from her. So I was like, "What's going on?" So I hit her up, no answer. I had to get on the flight. So I got on the flight. When I landed, I got a message from my brother like, "Yo, your mom's been rushed to the hospital." I'm like, what happened?" And they were like, "Oh, she had a stroke. She was by herself in the house. Like everybody travels, so she was by herself in the house, and I think she was. They say she was there for maybe a day before, like anybody got to her.
And that's
Um,
when the damage sets in.
yeah. So she just never really recovered from it. So I left. I came back from South Africa, and I would go to. She was in Texas, so I'd go to Texas and visit, and just go to the rehab center and be with her and everything. But she never really was the same. She didn't get her speech back. She knew I was there and she would smile, but she wasn't like the same person. So she never really got to, like, I never, what I wanted to do for her, like set up a whole shoot, do like a whole like portrait session for her, like the works, doll her down, everything. And I didn't get that chance. And I feel bad for that. That I didn't get a chance to like show her what I do now. She knew I was a model. She knew the whole thing. She encouraged me to move to South Africa. She encouraged me to move to Paris. She was like, "Yo, go to Paris, go live there because I know that you do well there." All right, cool. So she supported that. So I know she would have supported me in
She's
this
supporting you
photography
now.
genre, right? So she didn't really get to see that part of me. Um, but yeah, that's it.
I'm so sorry
I'm
about
sorry,
that.
man.
Thank you.
How does the camera help you with this? Because one time we was in Clubhouse and we had a whole discussion about
Trauma.
trauma.
Right.
And a lot of us as artists picked up art because we were trying to get away from something else. Did photography do that for you?
Or inspire
Or
something.
inspire that?
I feel like it inspires that. So there was a time, if I can find it, actually, let me find it. So there was a time I was in the rehab center and she was more alert. So I had a Polaroid camera with me. I didn't take my real camera. I had a Polaroid camera with me. And
All
I took a
cameras are real.
Polaroid. Well,
All
yeah, I
cameras
took,
are real.
that's true. I took a Polaroid of her and like she was smiling in that. So I feel like if she was able to like communicate with me, she would be like, she was happy about that. So I keep that photo close by. And whenever like I feel some kind of way or not really like um, motivated or anything, I look at that camera. I mean, I look at that photo and I was like, okay, cool. Like I know she's here with you. I know she's like happy that you're doing what you're doing. So keep pushing. So yeah, I use I
Nice.
use I use her not being like in the present anymore as a way to like continue work and continue to do what you're doing. I'm sure she'd be like, you need to go back to school and get your master's and become a doctor. But if you can provide for yourself and provide for your fam and provide for the family back home, then I'm happy. So yeah. But if I let me see if I can find that photo. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, by all means.
I want to see
How do
that.
you love the spirit?
He dope.
Yeah.
He's a friend now.
So let's see.
Yeah, please share mine with us.
So this is when we were younger. It was I'm here. I'm that one. My little brother, my older brother. This is when we was younger. So I keep
Your
this one
mom
close.
is beautiful. Your family's
But
good looking, but your mom is beautiful.
thank you. I'm told I look like her. I'm looking for that photo. I haven't showed anybody this photo yet. So
Well, thank you for sharing
Now
it
you about
with
to
us.
show the
About to
rest
show
of
the
the
world.
world.
where is it?
Your spirit is amazing.
Yo, bro, where is? Oh, there it is. Whew. I put it on my
And
social security card, so I always find it. So this was December 2016. So I took like a polar of her
this is gonna sound
before
messed
she went
up.
to sleep.
This is gonna sound messed up. Mom looks quite normal and cool.
I know, right? She, because we were there and we were like, what the rehab center was like. Whenever you guys come and visit, she's always lively and smiling and all of that. Because she was in Texas and I'm in New York, so like we're far away.
Right.
So there were times where like go and visit and spend like the whole week going to that rehab center and seeing her. So they were like, whenever you guys show up, she's always smiling and like happy and all that. So when we showed up, she was happy that day.
And I'm glad that
So
you were
yeah,
able to get that shot. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
I'm
this is
happy about that.
this is the only photo that, well, except for the ones that I took on my phone with me, like when we went outside for like we wanted to get some sun or whatever, just push her in her wheelchair and all that. But
Yeah.
this one is one that I hold close. So
Because I find that as we go up the ladder of photography, we get so caught up in the business that we forget the people around us. Because I don't have any photos of my mom. All my photos got. We have to
Taking
start taking
photos.
photos of our friends.
sorry, this thing froze for a second.
I froze. We froze too. Can you hear us?
You're cutting out. Hold on one second. What's going on?
It's technology, right?
Come on, Instagram. Okay, it's a little, it's cutting out a little bit, but I can you say something?
Something, something,
Hello?
something.
Okay, I hear a little bit of it. Yeah, just a little bit.
Give it a moment.
It's still
give it
cutting
a
out.
moment
It's
to
very
come back.
robotic.
We love to get us at this point of the interview. It's like all our interviews at this point, at this time, will do this, it seems. Can you hear us now?
Instagram. Yeah, a little bit, but it's still a little robotic, and there's a delayed feed.
And it's like pixelated.
Yeah.
Let's ride this out. Hopefully they'll come back. We have to take more photos of our family and friends.
Yes. Yes. We do.
We save all that time and want to do fancy photo shoots. Annie Leibovitz taught us that you have to record because we're not going to be here forever, so we have to record our friends and family.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
Or you're going to get caught up having one shot of your best friend or whatever, because life, nothing's promised to us.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So if I can't give you any lesson, get a small BS camera, as you said, no real camera, whatever.
Yeah,
Just shoot your friends and family.
it's my little Polaroid camera
Nice.
that I travel with.
That is so Williamsburg.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
Williamsburg camera right
You
there.
know, I travel with me, and I take little things.
So what got you into beauty photography? All the photographers out there.
Yeah. Why did beauty call you?
Because when I started, I was shooting more, like I said, swimwear and portraits,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw that I really liked the portraits better. I just like shooting the human face, and then of course working with Lindsay, who's a beauty photographer, I was like, okay, so this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I love how like women can sell so many different things with their face and their head. So like I'm like they can sell earrings, they can sell makeup, they can sell skincare, they can sell lipsticks, they can sell nose rings, they can sell whatever.
Right.
So I'm like you have more of an opportunity to be able to. Of course, I'm always thinking about scaling. I'm always because I'll do this for free, but still I would rather get paid.
Of course.
So I'm like, while working with her, I was just like, okay, so this is what you really want to do. Because when I was shooting portraits, I was like, I love shooting the human face and working with women. So I haven't really seen a lot of photographers that don't look like me, that shoot women that are of our complexion in a great light. So I was like, okay, we're gonna just do that. So that's why I went towards beauty. Because when I came to New York, I was like, you can't do swimwear in New York City.
No.
Where's the beach? You can't
Exactly.
do swimwear and
At
portraits
Coney
in New York
Island.
City. Right, I'm not going to Coney Island. What do I look like? So I was like, okay, we're gonna do.
There you
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Oh, okay, there we go. It froze again. So that's basically it. Just because in Cape Town I was shooting the human face and I loved it. And when I came to New York and started working with Lindsay, she's a beauty photographer and that's who I was learning from. So I was like, okay, cool. This is what you're meant to do because everything aligns. Everything happens for a reason. So yeah.
So let's ask you this. What are some of the
This thing
biggest
is
lessons
cutting
you
out.
got assisting Lindsay?
This is cutting out. Hello?
Can you hear us?
It's robotic again.
Hello, give it a moment. Hello, give it a moment. Gotta love Instagram. One moment.
What are they doing? What's going on at
They're
Instagram?
trying to cut out the chocolateness.
That's what it is. Yeah.
They
It's
don't
too
like all
much.
this.
It's too much for them.
As I say, they
It's
don't
too
like
much.
this little dirtiness. They don't like.
Yeah, it's it's
That's
too
what
much
it
for
is.
them. It's
Are
too
you
much for
back yet?
Instagram.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Mine is clear. It's just you guys.
Mine is clear. Okay. Ooh, let's take
Okay.
it
Well,
from there.
we'll just go with it. It's fine.
So, what are the biggest lessons that you got entering this world of beauty photography?
The biggest lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Biggest lesson I learned from Lindsay, or biggest lesson about the industry?
No, wow.
Take it.
Anyone.
Wow. Oh,
Lindsay, it's all you.
okay. I mean, lighting is very important. And lighting can make a great image or break a great image. And so I focus more on learning lighting and how to light properly, and how to learn just use one light and be able to create so many different looks with just one light. Sometimes you don't need 6, 8, 10 lights.
It just
Sometimes
looks impressive.
it looks great for the client, which is
Yeah.
sometimes, you have to make it look great for them. But then what happens when they're like, okay, so what is this light doing? Then you're like, it's there. It's just a hair light. So
We call it the dog and pony show.
Yeah.
that's what it is. Because if they're paying 50 grand, you're like, okay, yeah, let's put on a show. Let's make it seem like these lights are doing something. But no, biggest lesson.
Did Lindsay teach you that?
Lighting?
No,
Or-
about putting up all the lights.
Oh, I learned myself.
Okay.
No,
good.
but with Lindsay, she does a lot with just one light.
Mhm.
The only thing is, if like there's a certain look that she's trying to achieve, the most she would do is like 5 lights. But she knows exactly what each light is
Each light
doing.
is doing.
And I learned from her exactly what each light is doing, so that if I need to do 5, 6 lights, then I'm like, okay, cool. I know what this light is doing.
He's
I know
learned
I
the
can.
importance of the why.
Yeah. So I'm like,
So-
I know what this is doing. I know I have this hair light here just because, and it's only hitting their hair. It's not going to hit anywhere else. Okay, cool. I have this rim light because I want the viewer's eye to also see this, to be able to separate a model from the background. Okay, cool. I have this fill light because I don't want so much shadows, because that's not the look that the client is going for. So like, if you know what every single light is doing, then
You're
great.
fine.
You're fine. But if you don't and you're just putting it up because you think it looks cool, then you look kind of stupid.
Yeah. So do you think your learning studio lighting enhance your natural lighting photography?
You know what? I haven't actually tested that. I haven't shot outdoors in such a long time.
Oh, you're a snob now. You're
No.
you're a studio snob.
No.
You got New
It's,
York.
you know why? Because one, it's cold right now in New York.
Oh yeah.
Two, actually, I lied. I did shoot outside. I just shot an editorial in Jamaica that's coming out at the end of the month. I did shoot
Good.
outside.
Nice.
But even doing that, I wanted to use strobe. I wanted to use strobe outside. You know why? Because I ended up using strobe for one of the shots because it got dark. Because our time ran over and it got dark, and it was like, okay, we have to get this last shot, so we're gonna use a strobe. But shooting outdoors, I had to get back. I had to readjust. I was like, okay, cool. You're not in studio anymore. You don't have to shoot at f11, f13.
Right.
Figure out what is the light giving you right now. Okay, cool. It's kind of cloudy here today. We're respecting sunlight, but it's not, so it's cloudy. So you got soft light. So what do you need to be at, your settings be at to get this shot? So it took me a little time to actually regroup, but the images turned out great. So I'm like, I guess to answer your question, yeah, I feel like the studio lighting, knowing studio lighting has kind of enhanced my natural lighting abilities. But I have to shoot more outdoors because that was the only one that I've done since.
It's almost
shooting in studio.
we work in the muscle.
Yeah. Because I've been in studio for like a year and a half. So it's just like, okay, cool. So what does this do again? What is this sun giving me? What is it? Right. What is that again? What is that? Is that hard light? Nah. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's see. We really covered a bunch of great things with you. First of all, you seem like an old soul.
I've heard that before.
Your approach isn't as
millennial.
as millennial or as
It's
Gen
not.
Z,
It's not.
as what we've been coming across. Has that been you having an old soul, or people been telling you have an old soul? Has that been an advantage to you?
I don't know if it's been an advantage. I mean, I guess I'm not old, I guess. I'm 31, so I guess that's not old, right?
Oh, yes, you
Um,
are. You're my age. You're in that weird. I don't know if you're old. I'm not young thing. So once you're in
true,
that 30
true, true,
thing, it's
true.
weird. It's like
Yeah,
I feel older, but then I don't because I
that's the
can't
thing.
relate.
That's the
Somebody
thing.
asked me today, was like, are you in your 40s yet? I was like, no.
Ooh!
Wow, the disrespect.
I did
It's
all
disrespectful.
disrespect. Like
No,
I'm not even. I'm in the midpoint. I'm about to
that's the
cross
thing.
over.
I'm still like it's still, a year
Yeah.
apart from 30, but closer to 35 than you are, closer
See,
to
he's closer to
25
35.
He
Like
is
you,
than I
closer.
am
like
I'm
you're
to
closer
closer to
to
25.
40.
40. So you have to
Whew,
start
God
embracing
damn.
that. Because
Uh, but honestly,
I've been
I
trying
don't.
to teach you young guys, if you start saying I'm almost 35, by the time it gets there, it wouldn't be as painful.
I'm 35.
Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't
Yeah.
be it's the same thing for when before I turned 30. I was like, yo, 30 is really coming up.
Yeah.
What is going on? 30 is coming up. But it's like, you're 30 now. Okay, cool. Now look towards 35. Like 5 year plans, 5 year plans. Look
That's
towards
it. That's
35.
it.
Woo.
So let me ask you
Um,
a question. I see you do a lot of gel work, which is really beautiful.
Mhm.
People don't. A lot of people don't understand the magic of gels on dark skin. So I get a lot
yes.
of white models coming at me. Oh, I want to do this gel work. It's like it's not going to be as magical
On
on you
you. Yeah.
as it is
Yeah.
on darker skin. If you had to describe your work, what would you say my work is like, or describe what your work would be?
Um, I was asked this question before, and I sat there and I was like, what does my work look like? What is my
Mm-hmm.
work? And I like so I like very clean,
Mm-hmm.
very clean, beautiful, um, kind of emotional work. I would say like you
Okay.
would look in a model's eye and be able to feel something, or look
Okay.
at the image and be able to feel something is what I try to get out of the viewer.
Right.
Because there are a lot of, and that comes with working with models that know how to like emote, like give you emotion, which is kind of hard to find nowadays.
Right.
But if I was to say my work looks like, I would say it's clean, it's beautiful, and it's emotional, I guess.
Okay. Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good answers. Those are good answers. What is the biggest mistake you ever made on a photo shoot?
Ooh, biggest mistake.
Ooh.
Biggest mistake I've ever made on a shoot. Mm, mm,
And it's dope wherever you're sitting. You know you picked the dopest light, right?
yeah.
Okay.
It's that window light. That
It's been
window
cool.
light. Yeah,
It's been recognized and appreciated.
That
that
was on
window light.
purpose.
You have to get the right light in. Wow, biggest mistake on a shoot. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. There was a time where I couldn't get this specific light in that I wanted to do. Like it wasn't working with the model, and I got upset. And one of my homies that was on set with me pulled me to the side and was like, "Yo, don't do that. Don't show any emotion right now because the client is right here. So don't get upset because then the whole shoot is gonna get thrown off." So um, I don't think that, but that's not a mistake though. We all get emotional sometimes.
Like sometimes maybe you've lost a card or
Yeah.
you shot everything at an incorrect ISO.
No, that hasn't happened to me yet. Where's the wood? Where's the wood?
You're
Knock on wood. That hasn't happened to me yet.
gonna be at your next shoot. You're gonna go that damn Dallas.
Yeah, yeah. And my next shoot is actually tomorrow morning, and I'm just like, I'm hoping nothing goes wrong. But I haven't. Nothing really has happened that's been major that I've been like, oh shit. This like, I haven't forgotten a card. I haven't forgotten
Damn.
a card. I haven't forgotten my tether cable, my computer. I'm not gonna speak on the computer. But everything has been okay so far. So I wouldn't say I haven't really had a mistake per se.
Good,
It's just there's been a
good.
time where like, I got emotional because I couldn't get the light that I wanted, and I'm kind of like a perfectionist. So I'm just
Oh,
like,
that's just
why
the
is this
artist
not
in you.
working? Right. So I was just like, why is this not working? And then our boy pulls me to the side, like, look, do not show any emotion right now. Like, and he's older than me, so I was just like, all right, cool, you got it. So I'm not one of those people that be like, don't tell me what to do. Like, that's why I'm always, whenever I'm shooting, it's either I have one of my boys there that is also a photographer, but he's older than me. And so, like, if I'm doing something wrong or like I'm getting emotional, I'm feeling some type of way, like, pulls me to the side and be like, yo, like, relax.
He brings you
Calm
back to
down.
reality.
Yeah,
He
it's like,
grounds you.
calm down. You can do this. Like,
Do you know that
and
you ground older people too? You realize that?
I
He
had no
grounds me
idea.
all the time.
Oh,
How?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes I can be like, he said, can I talk? And he does that black thing. Can I talk to you for a second?
Right.
He pulls me to the
Yeah.
side.
That's the thing. It's like, yo, like, come on, let's go chat for a second. Let's talk. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, relax. I was like, all right, cool, you got it.
Like,
You got
chill
it. I'm
out.
being emotional. I'm being emotional right now. You're
It
right.
ain't even that deep.
It's not that deep.
Right.
They tell him like just
It's
chill.
not that deep. Do you find that the older photographers are too damn serious?
Some of them. And I feel like some of them are stuck in their ways where, like, if you were to tell them something like, oh, maybe I think you can do it this other way. They're like, what do you know? I've been doing this for 40, 50 years. What do
Ugh.
you know? You're a young guy. I'm just like, okay, sure. You're
I'm
right.
one of those older guys, and I even hate those guys.
I'm
You're
like, hey,
oh,
I'm like,
man.
hey, sure, you're right. Hey, you've been doing this longer than me. You're right. Do it your way.
But you know what they would say to them? Look
What?
at your work and look at mine.
I ain't that bad, but that happens too. But I usually say, no, wait, stop. I go through this phase of, oh no, I'm like, okay, you got it, and I just shut up. And
Or he does, your F8 doesn't look like mine.
nope, no, I
Mm.
don't. Nope, stop, because you're making me to a monster. No.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I feel you on that. I just shut up and let them do what they gotta do.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
You do you. You
You
got
got
it.
it, big man.
You see how the internet is kicking in now? We start talking gems, how the internet
Yeah.
kicks in.
Now it's
So-
working.
Exactly. So let's, this is what I ask all the photographers at this point because we're coming to the end. Give me 3 adjectives that describe you and why.
Damn, Dallas.
I know.
3 adjectives that describe me. I've never been asked this question before.
Okay.
I have to think about it. It's black coffee.
Okay.
Let me turn it down actually. Hold on.
No, it's fine.
Sound like different music.
It's what do you call it? House music. It's house music. Dallas, I've never been asked this question before.
Well, you better get ready because you're gonna be famous.
Wow.
So you have to get ready. I see greatness in you, so get ready.
Thank you. I don't have an answer for that question right now.
You know what? You're not the first one.
Yeah.
I had someone we interviewed Audrey last
Oh
Friday.
yeah.
And she was like, I asked her the question. She says, I have nothing to say, and shut me down.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for that. It's something I have to think about. It's something for me to think about. Because
Now I
want
want to get into the gearheads and their bullshit.
let's do that.
What's in your camera bag?
Oh, let me pull this thing out. Hold on.
Damn.
This is Sashi. Ooh,
So we have this.
Oh, he got his hard case.
So what do we have? So let's see.
Once I started asking a question about the gear, all the hearts started popping up. See, see all the hearts start popping up.
So we have. So I use my personal camera that I own is a 6D Mark II.
Okay.
But I am looking to upgrade to the R5.
You don't want a Hasselblad?
No, I don't want. That's a $40,000 camera. I'd rather rent it.
There you go.
So I want the R5, but I got my hands on one of my boys' 5D Mark IV. So I use that mostly for client work and personal works that I'm doing. The 6D is more now of my like a YouTube recording camera.
Okay.
So I use this 5D Mark IV with the 2470.
Okay.
And then I have 24-105. That's what I started with.
That's the greatest lens out there.
Yeah, that's the one that I started with. And then I have, of course, the 60.
Okay.
And then I have my personal stuff. If this thing will come out, it's kind of huge. The Tamron 70-200.
Okay.
Nice.
The tight
Make sure you
shot.
put it all back. You gotta shoot tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to. I'm making sure I don't drop this thing because that was an expensive buy. Other than that, that's mostly it. It's the
And what do you use
two
to light
cameras.
with?
Pro photo.
Oh, so you're like a photographer. Every time
Yeah.
he wants to leave.
I'm actually not even gonna grab it. I use Pro Photo when I'm in the studio.
Nice.
And that's just what I've been using, and that's what I want to stick to using because I don't want to change the quality or look of the work. So even if I'm renting a studio, I always make sure that's the lights that they have. I'm like, first thing I ask for, what kind of lighting system do you have? Pro Photo? All right, cool. Now we can talk. And then when it comes to modifiers, some of them.
What's your favorite?
An umbrella.
Mine too.
A deep white umbrella with diffusion. That's what I like.
Nice.
But the thing is, a lot of studios don't have that. A lot of studios have soft boxes. And I'm just like, why don't you guys have umbrellas? Like the studio tomorrow.
We actually keep them in our car.
Yeah, we keep
Okay.
umbrellas in our car. And
Yeah.
like most of my beauty work is done with umbrellas. I love umbrellas.
It's a beautiful light.
Easy, they portable, and they give you exactly what you're looking for every single time. So
easy to set up too.
Absolutely.
So tomorrow's studio, they don't have umbrellas, but I have one of my own, but it's not a deep white, it's a deep silver. But I have the diffusion, so I'm gonna try that tomorrow and see how I feel about it.
Okay.
But I did rent a 3-foot octabox that I might use as well for that. But other than that, it's usually a large or extra large umbrella with diffusion. Set it up, easy to use. That's it. But
well,
we're at the end of our interview with you,
but
sir.
before
that was quick.
We do this one thing where we want to make sure we get the photo right.
For the thumbnail.
We got to do a thumbnail, a 3-second hold.
Okay, cool.
The pose right.
Get your model
on.
So let us know when you're ready.
All right. Do I need a camera in my hand or no?
That's up to you. That's up to you.
Nah, it's cool.
So we're gonna do it right now. You ready? Let's get ourselves together, Jake.
All right, y'all ready?
We got this pretty chocolate boy here, so let's do this. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. But this motherfucker didn't smile.
All right. So we're supposed to smile. All right, we're gonna smile.
Yes. All right. Okay, that was good. 1, 2, 3.
Boo!
Oh, he did it again, that bastard. He smiles, but he didn't smile. Okay, one more time.
Smile with the eyes. All right.
Okay. Now we're gonna get serious and he'll start smiling. So let's do
it.
1, 2, 3.
I can't do it. We got it.
All right, cool.
We want to
All right,
thank
cool.
you
so much
for this.
Thanks for having me,
allowing
guys.
us to give you your flowers.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. Seriously, thank you, guys.
We will see you on Clubhouse.
And when we come to New York, we're gonna hit you like, yo, what's good?
Yeah, hit me up. Come to New York, hit me up. I might be coming to. Oh, come on, Dallas. I might be coming to LA soon, honestly, because I want to check out the LA market, see what's going on over there. So I would be sure to. Oh, okay, never mind.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Never mind. But no, if I get out there, I'll be sure to hit you up.
About the black models, and you like melanin.
Yeah.
We are the land of Alicia Keys.
Oh, okay. I mean, are they paying?
There you have it. Yes, they do pay. They do pay. They do pay.
Then.
And on time.
They pay on time.
Then I am down for that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you guys for having me, honestly. Thank you. It was fun. I'll catch you guys later.
Have a good day. Thank
you. You too. Bye.